Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. And we want to thank our newest Patreon member.
Yes, thank you to Ethan. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ethan, for joining the family, and thank you for your support. Here we have, let's just start with Costa Rica as we see fireballs crossing the skies of Punta Arenas in the Gulf of Nicoya. Just a beautiful sight. You know, there's been a lot, as we were covering on other videos, a lot of different things coming down from the sky or just simply traveling through the sky. A lot of places have had a lot of rain, and we are seeing a lot of sun activity. The sun certainly has been much more active after being pretty quiet. So we literally have three CMEs, three coronal mass ejections heading towards Earth. Impact today. So be on the lookout for that. None of these should take the grid down. None of these should cause major disruption in that way, but they will definitely be helping those that are ready and staying organic to upgrade their abilities, their immune system, open up the third eye. And really, they're getting us ready for just a new way of being.
They are. Definitely some help with the pineal gland here, but also keep an eye out for some purging. Usually there's a cleansing preceding these abilities. So if you're not feeling well, baby yourself, stay in bed.
Absolutely. Right now, the KP index is pretty low. It's been hovering around 2. But it is expected today to jump up to 5 to 6 and stay slightly elevated tomorrow at 4 to 5. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Massive power outages hit Victoria. This is in Australia during violent thunderstorms. About 600,000 homes and businesses without electricity. And this is the thing, you know, the electricity prices there have gone just insane. And it's a purposeful insanity because all this is all about bringing us to our knees economically, and they don't want anybody able to afford to live without the control system is what they want. They don't want anybody outside of the control system. It should be pretty obvious. And $16,600 per megawatt hour, a significant increase from the usual $200. Significant? That's insanity. But it's purposeful insanity. Everything we see going on is completely purposeful. This is a date with disaster. This is from Zero Hedge. Net Zero is pulling the plug on America's electrical life support system, a new documentary says. And it does talk about, again, what happens without the grid. Yeah, well, one estimate is that within a year or so, 2/3 of the U.S. population would die without the grid. The other estimate is that 90% of the population would die. And again, the government has said, you know, be prepared for 6 months without the grid. That's going back quite a ways now. I believe, again, it was 2019 that they said that. Yet again, and they also say, well, you know, it's going to take a land area the size of Texas loaded with these to supply the energy needs. And then you get those saying, well, that's not feasible, so we got to just use the nuclear energy platform as a vehicle. But the reality is there's systems out there that are far superior to anything that we have seen, literal free energy, and there's even patents, but it gets buried because, again, the power structure is such that they can't have us having free energy because, you know, then we truly would be free and we wouldn't be their slaves, and they want a slave system.
No, I mean, you can get electricity off of an orange, a lemon, a lime, a tree. There's all kinds of ways to get electricity. This is just their excuse.
It is. It's an excuse for control. And when we watch people like Al Gore and John Kerry talking out of, you know, the other side of the body, let's say, because they make statements, both of them have made statements that are completely untrue and made predictions that are completely wrong. You know, the only thing that's true is the forecast for the wealth of the elite to constantly be going up, and that's what we see. And what are they going to do? They're going to forecast and make it look like our one savior on this planet, the guy that has all the right ideas, is actually the richest guy on the planet. And if people fall for that hook, line, and sinker, you gotta just shake your head. You don't become the richest person on the planet without being part of the system. So last night, about midnight, I was looking at this, and we were up to like 460 quakes on the planet, and a huge swarm going on over here by Mexicali, which we have at different times seen big swarms there. It has tapered off right now, so either the energy here is easing, or maybe there will be another triggering event. Again, the bigger events are not far off. As you see right now, 250 quakes are being listed by the USGS on the planet, and now we're down to 47 here, so we've dropped about 200 from this swarm that was ongoing. We have seen more activity up through Yellowstone and through Washington and Seattle. And the USGS doesn't always cover those so focusedly, let's just say. So, we'll be watching, absolutely. Again, we don't get that Yellowstone will go, but we do get that there's going to be a lot of new volcanic activity going on in the Pacific Northwest. And Qigong is a submarine volcano in Grenada, and it is showing some seismic activity as well. So they have a yellow level alert there. Again, the underwater volcano part of the story is an interesting one, because obviously you wouldn't necessarily see an eruption from an underwater volcano, but it will affect things. It'll affect so many things. Interesting times we have. Massive floods, that's just another day here in the apocalyptic neighborhood. This is Turkey, as you see. Schools closed, flights grounded, vehicles submerged. There's a lot more to the weather scenario than what they let on. We understand the control system. And this mega mansion, these three mega mansions, seem to have escaped the California debacle with the flooding and the mudslides that had gone on very narrowly. But I wouldn't bet on them being there in even a year's time. In the environment that we're in and the times to come. Narrow escape there indeed. Intense hailstorms hit the UAE after what? Cloud seeding operations. This is really coming out now. Again, the controllers, the control system, for those that have watched us steadily, and I saw some saying, geez, are they plants? Are they plants? And I was laughingly saying, yeah, we're plants from the Galactic Federation. Because we've been saying all along certain things, and the regulars that follow us can see how accurate or inaccurate we've been. And again, we're just sharing information that we're getting from other densities, and often our higher selves, which again reside in other densities and can see things from a different angle. The control system, it's going to be such in perhaps just 1 year's time that, again, they will not dare go out in public, any of them, because they've been outed to the degree that they will not feel safe traveling out anywhere pretty much around people in the open. And it's because of things like this, the realizations that these earth change disasters that are happening, a lot of them are being triggered through technology. And this one in here in the UAE. Here you have floods in Tasmania caused by cloud seeding on mainstream news. Yeah, they still have their little wiki, geoengineering, and saying, those are all just contrails. Again, there's documents, declassified documents on the weather control aspect that literally go all the way back to like 1900. Actually, I think the very first one was 1890 something. 1890 something. We've talked about this many times on other videos, but again, time goes by and new people come on. There's no doubt to this. Again, look to Operation Popeye. Just do a little Google and you'll see Operation Popeye, how the U.S. military flooded out the Viet Cong during the Vietnam War. Again, 50 years ago. 50 years ago, they were flooding out villages in Vietnam using cloud seeding. By the way, the substances that are used in seeding the clouds can cause health issues. A lot of health issues that many people have, including cognitive problems, things like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Yeah, absolutely. Detox. We are all under a heavy metal, and I don't mean the music, assault. Absolutely. This is one of the keys to surviving this time, is you gotta detox. The reason why people are dropping like flies is a toxic overload. Now, some people, that toxic overload has come in a very, very pointed, concentrated form, let's just say.
A very, very small package, but this is like so in your face. I mean, it is on mainstream media, which that's important, because there's a lot of naysayers out there, and they say, well, this doesn't affect me, or they brush it off like, oh, it's really not happening, gosh, my friends are all into this stuff and I don't believe it. But now it's on mainstream, so how many people are going to continue to ignore it and pretend it's not happening because it doesn't affect them? The ones their houses were completely flooded, the ones who didn't believe in any of this stuff. I never want to see anything bad happen to anyone at any time, but sometimes to make change and for people to see, tragedy does have to strike and their lives do have to get difficult. Otherwise, they're just not going to move. They're not going to budge. The universe has a way of nudging people and waking them up. So, always look to the silver lining. This is going to help a lot of people wake up and give more pushback to what they're doing to us.
There have been pilots that came out and have spoken out about, the equipment that's there, that's being utilized, and the fact that this has been an ongoing program for a very, very, very long time. In fact, probably longer than everybody that's listening to this. It's not a conspiracy theory. And again, who gave us that term? The FBI, CIA gave us that term. Why did they give us that term? Well, when people are starting to get on the right track, we got to be able to make the public think that they're not on the right track. And this is why you have that. This is why you have Wikipedia, which is, again, run by the same people. And this is during a meeting of San Diego's county board. A woman highlights the first cloud seeding event. Well, it's not the first. I mean, this is the first openly acknowledged, as it was openly acknowledged in in California here that they were going to be doing this, and then the floods came. Atmospheric river, Doug and Stacy did a video on this. And we remember way back, and we didn't have clouds that look like this every day. Absolutely not. They're actually painting it in paintings, trying to convince the public that this was happening on a regular basis back in the day, like it is now. No, they've just increased. This is all that's happened, is they're getting to the end of a certain time period. They have certain goals to be made. They're not making their goals. And people are waking up too fast. They're not fluoridating the water enough. Now double check your water filtration systems, guys. Double check it, because if you bought something before that did remove fluoride, you might find that it doesn't remove fluoride anymore. So that's another thing to check. Always check your labels, because they could change from week to week, batch to batch. You might find all of a sudden they're adding cancer-causing agents to it. You know, just double check everything in this world. You know, here you have again the desert, and these people are just praying for some sort of rescue or for the water to start to go down before it's washed away. This is Oman. It's all over. I mean, people in Chile are painting the roofs blue because they understand that there are directed energy weapons that are being used, and again, Chile is under amazing fires that leave trees standing but melt metal. Yeah, and yet spare celebrities' houses and members of the aristocracy. It's very real. It's very, very real. The ones often that are posting trollish statements, the debunkers and stuff, are people that are part of the secret societies. They're part of the power structure. They're working for certain governments. You know, or often they are also automated bots. They have that at their disposal as well. We're waking up, and they keep blowing things up. I love water parks. This is sad. Look at this thing go up in flames. Swedish amusement water park engulfed in a terrifying fire. New attraction exploded today. No immediate reports of any injuries. You know, craziness that we're seeing all around the globe, and we're seeing a lot of people that don't have. Well, we could assume there's a lot of accidents going on of a variety. Maybe, you know, what's wrong with people and airplane mechanics? Emergency crews searching after a plane door. A rear door of a plane fell off an aircraft in the air. It did land safely with no injuries. There was a mandate. You guys remember? Yeah, there's many of those mandates that have come and gone. If food labels were honest, yeah, this is a pasteurized, prepared cheese product with not a single bit of cheese in it. How many of you grew up with this? Yeah, you don't want these things. The reality is, homogenized pasteurized milk you look at as, oh, that was a wonderful thing that they did for us, that Louis Pasteur guy. What a nice guy. Yeah, he's one of them, by the way. Yeah, and what they've done is they've taken everything that nature gives us and they've twisted and distorted it. Fructose peddlers. Yes, this is true. There is no daily sugar requirement for anybody, by the way. It contains 400% of your child's daily sugar requirement. No, you don't need simple sugars, is the fact. You know, the body can run on complex carbohydrates without spiking your insulin response, which is going to give you inflammation, which is going to lead to diabetes in a box. Yeah, absolutely. They're great for the medical profession. Yeah, absolutely. They're great for big pharma because it's more money for them. I can't believe it's all these things, but it certainly isn't natural. You know, some of this stuff out here, they have done things where they've put in McDonald's hamburgers out where they know bears travel. The bears walk by, sniff it. They won't eat it. They're not suicidal.
And I've seen people get McDonald's hamburgers and find them in their jacket pocket 2 years later, and there's no change. They take them out of their jacket pocket. It's not rotted. It's the exact same thing. And how many years have they been shelling out hamburgers and putting them through people's bodies? And you can't tell me that that is going to add anything positive to the human body, along with all the rest of these, all the rest of these things that they sell off the shelves like hotcakes. And it is so hard to raise children right now, small children, with the diet options that they have out there. It is tough because even if you're, you know, having good food at your house, you know, children have friends, and there's also school. So not everyone is going to follow the same routine because it's so popular just to get a box of Rice Krispies and or a box of whatever, Cocoa Puffs, and have that right there in the cupboard for kids and their friends. So it's a really tough time right now to raise kids. And the only thing I can say is, you know, if your children are old enough, if they're like 10, I would think 8 and 10 is a time to show them, start teaching them to read labels, let them make decisions. Yes, they're going to make bad decisions, but let them make decisions. And, you know, really use yourself as an example, because children usually never listen to what we say, but they watch what we do. They really watch what we do. So we have to be that good example.
Yeah, they have us all, you know, running around in circles, chasing ourselves, getting nowhere, while they're the ones that are reaping all the benefits and maintaining the control over the vast majority of beings on the planet, and creating a condition for endless suffering. And it doesn't have to be. Trending in the U.S., I see over there on X, they did it. Yeah, it is. They did it. They did it. They got us carrying out their plan for them. It's just insanity. And thankfully, people are waking up. It's just a matter of time again, guys. It's just a matter of time. So stay tight, stay strong, stay as organic as possible in this world. You know, support your local farmers. You know, go to the local farmers market. Take part regularly. If, you know, it feels and resonates with you. I mean, when we go, I know, you know, sometimes we pay more, you know, but it's a better product. And then you just eat less of something that's better, and your body will thank you for it. Again, you know, we typically do not have any sort of allergic reactions. We don't get the common cold, no flus, nothing like that. We can feel sensitivity to energies that will come and go, usually when we're out there closer to the public. But when we are more like out here and staying home, that type of thing, then, you know, we generally feel really, really good. And again, the simplest solutions, the natural, when in doubt, try to be as close to the way Mother Nature has provided things, because that is the natural order of things.
Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.